Well, I'm at the corner of Richmond Road and North Boundary Street near the Wren building at the College of William and Mary. And this is one of my favorite streets to park on when I'm getting ready to go for a walk in the historic area. There's lots to see. You can do a little window shopping. And the beginning of Duke of Gloucester Street is right here. Pay attention to the parking signs in this area. You'll want to find a spot that's at least 1 hour. Of course, I'm here early in the morning before 9 o'clock, so it's not a problem. But between the hours of 9 and 5, they do mark tires and issue tickets. One of the benefits of parking here on Boundary Street is this lovely garden. It's a memorial to a student at William and Mary who died. I don't know all the details, but it's a really lovely place to maybe gather your thoughts, wait for a friend, do a little stretching, just admire the beautiful flowers. Okay, it's starting to get a little more peaceful as we go down the street. Still have some leaf blowers, but here is Bruton Parish Church, one of the original buildings in the historic area, as well as blinding sun rising in the east. So we're going to turn off on Palace Green and go for a walk around His Lordship's Canal, also known as the Governor's Palace Pond.
Oh, of the palace, right?
Yeah. And here we are coming up on the palace, but the grass is wet in the early morning, so we'll veer back over to the road and head down to the side entrance to get to the grounds behind the palace, which are really beautiful. If you've never done it before, don't miss it. Okay, it's early morning, so there's no one out taking tickets yet, and one of the local secrets is you can go in the East Advanced door or the West Advanced door, those little brown doors on each side of the palace, to get to the gardens. So we're going to go in this West Advanced door over here. Okay, we made it in with a clever stick through the door lifting the latch move that I usually don't have to do, because usually there's so many grounds people in here cleaning and they don't care. And we're going to go down this little 18th century style alley, enjoying all the old brick and the ambiance. Not too many places where you can have this kind of experience for your morning walk. How are you? I don't know if I have a zoom on this. Wait, I think I do have a zoom. Oh, isn't he pretty? Let's try and... You know, I've walked around this pond for a lot of years, but it's only when I come down here with my video camera to share it with folks that I see a beautiful bird. I don't know my waterfowl. Do you, Kim? You know what that is?
Well, let's guess that it's a blue heron, but I don't know.
I was guessing a heron too.
It's sort of blue.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna walk around, go over the little bridge here. Oh, we scared the blue heron away. What a beautiful bird. Let's see, that made it worth it coming down here, Kim, because I don't ever see blue herons in my neighborhood. How about you?
No.
And here we are at the other end of the pond. Very peaceful place, except for the water that you hear draining behind us. And Lafayette Street is behind the wall, just to orient you to where we are. And we'll follow the path around behind the Governor's Palace, come back out on Palace Green. Now, if you were really feeling adventurous on your morning walk, you could do the Governor's Palace maze, and I'm glad to see it's healthy and grown up some more. I can't even reach far enough to show you what it looks like. But if you're traveling with kids, Send them in there, let them run off all their energy. It's fun. We turned left leaving the governor's palace and got so startled by some sheep bleating that I forgot to turn on the camera. Well, this is the first time I've walked in the historic area since Colonial Williamsburg removed the windmill. A little bit of a shock to my system and many of the locals, but apparently it was not in an authentic place this close to town, and they have moved it closer to the visitor center at what they call New Hope Plantation. And here we've come up behind Market Square. There's the courthouse and the green with the Peyton Randolph House on our left, and we're going to go down Nicholson Street. We came up the path behind the Capitol, and now we're going to head down Duke of Gloucester Street. They're doing some early morning maintenance work here inside the building. And to my right, you'll see the new coffee house, Charlton's Coffee House there. Be sure to stop in next to the Raleigh Tavern at the bake shop during regular operating hours for a gingerbread cake and some hot or cold cider, one of my favorite things to do. And next to the Raleigh Tavern bake shop is this beautiful garden. I think this is used often in their photography, and watercolor artists love to portray this. Not a bad way to start the day. There's the walkway next to the bake shop, and after you get your treats, you can come out and sit in the courtyard to enjoy it, or head back out to Duke of Gloucester Street and find a bench to pass a few minutes. Here. Now, as you're walking along Duke of Gloucester Street, remember to peer over the edges sometimes. You never know what you'll see. Very pretty area where the printer's office is. One of my favorite things about living in this part of Virginia is the crepe myrtle trees. They bloom from June to October, and it's easy to take them for granted. But a lot of times as I drive around town, I just say, thank you God for crepe myrtles. They add so much color to the town. At this point we're going to cross over on Duke of Gloucester Street. It's always nice to look at the Colonial Garden, which you can actually buy things at during the day. And then there's the Hartwell Perry Ordinary, and I forget the name of the big house on the corner, but behind that big house on the corner there's a nice garden with a view toward the back street, so we'll go check that out. It looks like there's actually some things blooming in this nice little garden. It's absolutely stunning in the spring. I didn't expect to see any color back here after the dry summer we've had, but we'll check it out. Oh, how pretty. Very cute. And oftentimes there will be sheep in the pasture over towards Francis Street. Now we're coming back up Duke of Gloucester Street. We're almost at Merchant Square, and once you get to this point you're probably going to need some refreshment. And there's Barnes & Noble bookstore on the right, and the cheese shop on the left, which has the best sandwiches in town if you're here at the middle of the day. And you can also get refreshments in there as well. Well, Kim and I were down here early enough that Barnes & Noble and the cheese shop were not yet open, so we walked one block over to Prince George Street and had our coffee, tea, and muffins at Aromas, which is a favorite spot for locals to gather. And a lot of college kids work here, and they have good coffee and good treats.